lot nicer weather than Madison in December, January. But yeah, I'm excited for it. I have a lot of family down there rooting me on. Then we get to play quality opponents, so I'm looking forward to it.
What's the challenge of going through practices with a team that's going to look different from what you had there in the regular season? Because you got guys leaving for different.
I couldn't catch the first part.
What's the challenge of going through practice and trying to prepare for a game with a team that's going to be a lot different from what you played with in the regular season? Because you have so many guys that have left the portal or NFL draft. Is that tough?
Oh yeah, it's definitely a challenge, but at the same time, I think a lot of guys kind of look at it as just opportunities because you got a lot of young guys that got to step up now, maybe play a little bit more than they have all year. If they haven't played at all this year, they got opportunities to play and showcase what they want to do. So it's definitely a challenge, but I feel like there's a great amount of opportunities that come with it for the younger guys, that haven't played as much.
Coach Fickell mentioned yesterday kind of how hectic December gets with transfers coming in and out. And obviously, you went through that process last year. Like, what were you looking for in those really condensed visits you were able to do? And how did you kind of like say like, all right, this is the right spot for me? Obviously, with your connection with the coaches.
Yeah, obviously, I had relationship with Coach Fick, like a lot of the guys that came over here. So my situation, I feel like, was a little bit different just because I didn't have. I was kind of more set on one spot. I kind of already had an idea of what I was going to do after they reached out to me. So I feel like it's definitely a crazy world, the transfer portal and all that type of thing. But I feel like guys are kind of put in a place where they have to make decisions quick just because you have a quick turnaround whether you're trying to get somewhere in the spring. So it's definitely a very unique world that we're going through right now.
What's it been like getting a chance to play and practice with some of those guys, that haven't gotten that opportunity yet, but that are getting a chance to step up here?
It's really cool to watch all the young guys play and go out there and just compete because you don't get to see a lot every day on just the day-to-day and during the season. So seeing the young guys out there making plays, balling out, having fun, it's just amazing to see.
One young guy we haven't really seen as a receiver is Tretch. I'm just curious if you were to give us a scouting report on what you've seen him in practice.
Tretch is going to be a really good player for us. I think he should see a good amount of snaps at the bowl game. I think like me and Tretch have a lot of similarities. The way we play, our stature, the way we play, that type of thing. So yeah, I feel like Tretch is going to be a really good player.
One of the other guys that you've kind of been around more than us is Quincy Burrows. What have you kind of seen from him behind the scenes, his work ethic, and potentially what we could see from him going forward?
Yeah, ever since I've started playing ball with Quincy, it's just he's always growing in himself. Whatever he's doing on the field, he's doing off the field. I always see him grow. It's been awesome to see him grow as a person, as a football player. Obviously, one of my best friends here, so it's been awesome to see him grow.
What's the biggest challenge about this LSU team?
Oh, the biggest challenge. I don't know if it's the biggest challenge, but obviously they're a super athletic team, super fast team. Got a lot of DBs and a lot of linebackers that can cover a lot of ground. So I feel like probably the first thing that jumps out is just their athleticism.
You're not at the offseason yet, but you're going to enter the next phase where it's year 2 of this whole system, this offense. What do you think where can this unit grow? Are there certain realistic steps you think this group can take from what you did this year to next season?
Realistically, I feel like we have everything we need on the roster right now. I don't think there's really like a weak spot, you could call it, on the offense. I feel like just the biggest thing for us is just execution and then just consistency. A lot of times when we struggled this year, we were really just beating ourselves. It wasn't because we didn't have the guys that can make the plays. It was just guys dropping the football or guys jumping off sides, whatever the case may be. It was really just us beating ourselves. It really wasn't anything schematically that I feel like held us back.
Well, reminiscent on your year, you end up with an all Big Ten selection, and having the year that you had, just going back to the beginning of the year when you were here a newcomer, did you kind of expect this season, and kind of what did you take away from the awards?
I don't want to say something that I expected. Obviously, I know how hard I work. I know the time I put into my craft. So when it did start happening, I wasn't surprised, but it's been a blessing just to be here every day with these guys, this group of guys, these coaches, just to get to interact with them, not even just on the field, but off the field. It's been a blessing.
Did your view of this regular season change when you guys won those last 2 games? Because I think you were 5-5 going into those last 2, Nebraska, Minnesota.
Yeah, those last 2 games, winning those last 2 games, rivalry games, obviously were big. Got our momentum going in the right direction for sure. So I feel like having those 2 games back to back, having those 2 W's back to back, have us kind of like we got our mojo back a little bit in a sense. So going out there on January 1st, it would be like we picking up right where we left off.
You were part of this last year, and we were talking about this before you come in as a transfer. What's it like being a player knowing that the staff every year is going to be looking in the portal to try to bring guys could potentially take your job. Is it something you think about? Is that a challenge for a player in this modern era of college football?
I'm sure for certain guys, they do look at it in that way. But me personally, no, I'm a competitor. I'm not one that's going to shy away from competition. So if we bring receivers in, it's only going to make everybody in the receiver room better, because we all got to compete with whoever's in the room, whether it's a transfer, freshman, whatever the case may be. Everybody's got to compete, and to be honest, it's just the reality of college football now. You're going to get transfers. It doesn't matter what players you have, what players you don't have. You're going to see new guys, new faces in every receiver room, in every quarterback room, whatever the case may be. You're going to have new players. So I feel like it's just come with college football at this point.
Thanks, Will.
Thank you.